right, all right, all right. First thing of the what's good doohickey here is, courtesy of Phil, Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum. This is number 1 here by W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo with Chris O'Halloran. So, as you might think, the Kryptonite Spectrum is not at all like the autism spectrum, but it is indeed a hell of a thing. So it starts off with Superman. Superman just like got a lot of time on his hands, okay? And he just him and his robots are oops, cancel that one. Him and his robots are like going through stuff at his fortress, and they discover this they're out in space, like some of his robots are out there in space. And they discover that there's this asteroid that has a bunch of kryptonite stuff, like kryptonite rocks embedded in that asteroid. So Soup says, okay, bring them back, because I want to get my hands on them before someone like Luthor gets their hands on them. I mean, God forbid that Luthor would get their hands on this. If only he knew about it. So of course Luthor knows about it, because Luthor knows about everything, right? And he's in his luxurious penthouse, talking to his one of his lackeys, telling him, "I'm going. You know what? Why do I not have that goddamn kryptonite right here in my hands right now? You're fired. In fact, fuck your 401k and your family and everything else. Get out of my sight. But first, finish your day's work before you go." He's such a piece of shit. And so he's telling me, like, yo, I got to get that fucking kryptonite because I got to know what's going on with it. So Superman, being a very smart fellow as well, maybe I should get Batman. Batman is my intellectual equal. In fact, he probably knows more than I do about some things, because he's the world's greatest detective. He brings Batman to the fortress, and Batman helps him do experiments on himself, on Superman, with these kryptonites, because what could go wrong, right? One of them can kill you, some make you crazy, and some do other things to you. But so they start with the first one, which is purple kryptonite. That's what this first issue is pretty much about, the effects of purple kryptonite on Superman. It does not make him turn into Prince, what you might think. And there's like 3 others that they probably deal with in the upcoming subsequent issues. Spotted kryptonite, I think rainbow kryptonite, and one other. But this one, it makes time kind of go out of sync. And I think only Superman sees it as being out of sync. Everyone else sees it as being normal. So he just, in his mind, it's like he doesn't know what's happening now and what's going to happen in a few minutes, a few hours, or what happened in the past. Because he's seeing like snapshots of things that have already happened or things that are going to happen. So this is it's written in this kind of a style like the guys write Ice Cream Man, which is pretty cool, because Ice Cream Man always has this kind of acerbic humor to it, and you can see like the dialogue between Soups and Bats are just kind of like written by these guys. It's just worth the price of admission. So I'm totally down for seeing what this 4-issue limited series is going to do. It's one of those mainstream books written by indie creators that I could just totally get into. So thanks for suggesting it, Phil. Superman.
Shout out to the homie Phil. We also got TM Nerdy sneaking in. Sorry.
Is that TM Nerdy? What's up, TM? What's happening?
Sleepy is a fan of this one.
Yes, love the art on this one even more than Ice Cream. Yeah, I guess because DC is very particular about who they let draw Superman. That's the dude. That's the fucking OG guy. So they kind of have to like, you guys, the endings. So they really like always kind of like what's the Superman for all seasons? Frank Quitely. So it's kind of in that same kind of a mode there. But they do the big blue guy right, and they come up with a pretty good story. So did you get it from me? I know I got it from somewhere. I know I heard it somewhere. Maybe it was me.
You had a great idea that I actually gave you in the first place. Let me tell you.
You're welcome. Yeah. What's up, Travis? That was terrible art. Oh, well, I wouldn't say that. Uh,
Wow, TM, come on.
he's entitled to his opinion, even if he's wrong. He's entitled to his opinion. Art is subjective. Everybody's art isn't always the favorite for everyone else. I totally get it. We can all agree to disagree here. Great story, but terrible art. Yeah, yeah. See, you're a mainstream art guy, Travis. I feel like you are. I feel like you are.
Talking about Superman for all seasons is what he's talking about.
Oh, Superman for all seasons? I don't know. That was all. Yeah. That was Frank Quigley, Tim Sale. Tim Sale pitches for the Boston Red Sox. Was that Chris Sale? I forget which. Tim Sale. I think. Yeah. That's God. That's the Superman. I'm sorry. Spider-Man Blue and Daredevil Yellow. That was Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. I want to say that did those. So yeah, I bought it for the. See how different it is here. One man's garbage, another man's treasure. So and thank God for that. It takes all kinds. It takes all kinds, y'all. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is one that wow, this is like a series review after I reviewed the first book. This is Pastime. This is the baseball and vampire 5-issue limited series from Mad Cave that I was excited to read about. And this was Joe Harris is the writer, Russell Olson, the artist, Carlos Manguel is the letterer, and Mark Cicciarella did cover number 1. I think this is cover B here. This is Mark Cicciarella's cover. I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm not. This is it cover. Yeah. That was just the B cover, actually, which is unfortunately by Adam Polina. There you go. But anyway, the point is, you can tell that Joe Harris is definitely a baseball fan, maybe even a Cub fan. I should probably look that up and see what. Oh, you're not talking about the book. Okay, yeah, Marcus is right. Okay. Farrell Dalrymple. Rimple. What's that? Oh, Pastime. Oh, yeah. Pastime. Pastime, man, it begins. I got a video to go with that one too, but it begins actually starts in 1998, Chicago. That's around the time that the first night game was being showed at Wrigley Field. Was being played, I should say, at Wrigley Field. And there's this guy, Hank. I think Hank is the name of the fellow that is the sports writer. There we go. Get that going. Wait for it. And there we go. Wow. Oh, that's the wrong one. Jesus Christ. Nope. Wrong one. Wrong. Not that one. There we go. Oh, it was still there. There we go. If you don't take that thing down, it just stays there. That's crazy, huh? All right, this is Pastime. So this begins in take 2. Begins in Wrigley Field in 1988. Now remember that first game was rained out. I remember the players like doing a slip and slide on the tarp, and they got in trouble for it. Jody Davis and some of the ball players got in trouble for that. So the sports writer who's been around for a long time, and you see he's old and grizzled, and he's followed this guy. We find out later on, he's followed Henry Hayes for many, many years. Henry Hayes was a ball player who was going to, I think, Princeton back in the 1920s. But when the World War II, I said before the 1920s, but when World War I started, Henry decided to go serve his country and go to war. So he went to war. He got caught in an explosion down in a foxhole, what they call those things back then, and he was injured. Like this thing blew into his eye, this shrapnel, and damaged his vision. And not only that, after he got blown to pieces, there was a vampire in his foxhole. It turns out, and the vampire turns him also into a vampire. So he comes home not only injured, but a vampire. So there goes the baseball career, because baseball is played only in daytime. One day, Henry is hanging out in the woods after he's hunting for a kill, and he stumbles upon this barnstorming baseball stadium where lights are being installed. And he's like, wow, what the fuck is happening here? I must find out what's going on here. And he runs into this black groundskeeper. He's not really a groundskeeper. He was formerly a ball player himself, but he lost his vision through some disease or something. He didn't see good enough to play ball anymore, but he could still pitch a little bit. But they let him stay around because he just, he would wrangle the balls, and he would just be like a clubhouse guy. So he runs into Henry, and they become kind of friends. And turns out Henry stumbles upon this kid, which his name is Sonny, this old black guy, and he was getting beat up in an alley, and Henry saves his life. And Sonny, at some point, as you see here, saves Henry's life after this cult of vampire players who had a team called the House of Enoch. But they knew who Henry was, right? But they were tracking vampires. They were about to kill Henry, but Sonny was able to kill the vampire slayer, but he sustained an injury and he was mortally wounded. So Henry, of course, brought him over and turned him into a vampire as well, saving his life. But Sonny was not that grateful for that. He's like, dude, I didn't ask to become a vampire. Now I'm going to be like, drinking blood and shit, but at least that's gratitude for at least you're alive. But Sonny and Hank have kind of a contentious relationship. There's a point where there's a scout coming to look at the barnstorming team because they heard about how Henry got put on the team because they were short a guy, right? So once Henry became part of the team, people were saying like, God, this guy's just lighting it up. And so scouts started to come, down to check out Henry. This one scout was on his way down, and Sonny told him, dude, tomorrow when he's in Peoria, it's going to be a day game. He's not going to see you. You wasted your time, trying to do that. But for some reason, Henry intercepts the scout, pretends to be someone else, picks him up, wrecks the car, kills the scout, and just ruins his chance for being. He couldn't have played anyway because it's all day games. But he kills the scout, and there goes that whole thing, so he never makes it. So flash forward, this sports writer follows Henry's career because he knows there's something up with this guy, and he follows him. He said there's always some trail of bodies and things happening around this guy, and he's starting to age. The sports writer is, but Henry is not. Henry stays the same. Henry does not age at all. So this leads us back to 1988 Chicago, where finally the Cubs are going to play the next day in this ball game. And as they're sitting in the bar down the street from the ballpark, he hears that they're announcing over the loudspeaker that now batting for the Chicago Cubs, Henry Hayes. Like, oh shit, he's here. He's playing at night now because they got lights. And there's a thing that happens after that. So it's just such a cool thing that not only is he a baseball fan, but he ends up playing. This guy's playing for the Cubs too, and it's just a great series, man. I just drinking blood and shit. I mean, they have you drinking blood and shit, man. What the fuck? WTF? Funny thing, I didn't have any today, which is pretty crazy. I don't know, man. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, this is such a great series, and I didn't expect it to be this good. I'm just really glad that I was able to get this and enjoy it. And I had no idea when I first saw that they were using that one Wrigley Field thing that a lot of us wouldn't know about, unless you're a Cub fan. You don't remember that the first Cub game at Wrigley Field at night got rained out the day before. Who the fuck knows it other than a hardcore Cub fan? So this guy definitely did his research. He put a lot of stuff together. He built the characters of Henry and Sonny and the sports writer whose name escapes me right now, and just made this whole little thing between them just work so well. And if you love baseball, if you love vampires, one of the two or both, then you cannot miss this. Pastime is something you have to read. Pastime from Mad Cave. Man, there it is. Pick it up. Make it happen.
I wonder if it'll get a trade.
It might. Mad Cave very often gets trades. They're they're he's like, yeah, for real, man. I mean, it is totally made for me. When I saw it may have been the penultimate book. I'm not sure. Um, it may have been. I think I probably saw it, and he's a big. I mean, he was a made for base. It's like, there you go. It's a home run for Lorenzo. Yes, I love baseball and really dig vampires, and they bomb together. What else is there? What else is there? All right, last thing is going to be 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago's book in the penultimate universe, Escape #1. I got such a good trailer for that I'm just going to let that trailer roll. I still got the Escape trailer in here somewhere. It's an awesome trailer. So here's the Escape, and I'll talk about it after that. Love that trailer. That's awesome. That's a super massive black hole. hey. Oh, yeah. Remember Rick Remender? Yeah, Rick Remender. This Escape, man. It's the story of Milton. Milton, who is this bomber pilot, right? And this war very similar to World War II. It's very World War II-ish, but since it's played by anthropomorphic animals, it's probably not World War II, but it's representational. And Milton and his crew are on this bombing mission. They're going to drop. They're not the big one, but they'll definitely soften them up for the big one. And the people that they're bombing are just like I'm not sure if they're like foxes or they're the same, because all the Milton's people are like represented by bears. I'm not sure they're all bears, or they look kind of like a bearish kind of a creature. It's all to represent different things. But as they're bombing, they're attacked by the enemy forces, and they're just losing like their escort. They're losing. They've lost an engine because they've been shot at, and the engine is exploding, and they're going to be going down pretty soon. And all he can see is just like Milton. All Milton can see is just like everything falling apart. But he's such a loyal dude. He's such a good soldier, and we're going to get through this. We're going to drop the goddamn bombs if it kills us. So they end up dropping their bombs. One of his co-pilot, one of his best friends, this British fellow, he's wounded, but Milton can't carry him. He puts a parachute on him and throws him out the door and hopes for the best. Like, dude, hopefully I'll see you on the ground. If not, God bless. Then Milton puts on his parachute and jumps himself and ends up literally in the city that he was just bombing. And now he's running for his life, and he's going to have to seek like the help of the people he was just trying to kill. This is another thing from Rick Remender and his giant generator imprint, which gave us so many good things, like the seasons, like, oh my God, grommets, The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So many good things from this. And
Righteous Thirst for Vengeance.
Righteous Thirst for that's a Rick Remender. Yeah, that's a Rick Remender joint too. And he asked them, like, some people asked, like, why the anthropomorphic animals and what's up with that? Like somebody last week said, "Oh, look at that and let's show this fucking bear dude." Like what's up with that? And he said, like, I guess because they've done studies and it shows that many people feel more sympathetic toward animals than they do toward people. So they use this representation. So it's like, okay, that's not a person. So I can't say that's not. I might have a certain bias against that kind of a person if that character is played by a person. But if it's played by a bear or the anthropomorphic character, then I have a little bit more sympathy. I'll identify more with that character than I would if there was just a person. So a human being, I should say. So yeah, that's a pretty good way to put that, and that makes a lot of sense. Now that I put it that way, it makes Beneath the Trees kind of make a lot of more sense. And they use a lot of different animals, the bears and ducks and everybody's just like just a whole veritable zoo Beneath the Trees. But I think there's a little bit more of a limited animal palette, if you will, for Escape. But Escape looks very good. Yeah, man, they are very cute and cuddly. Especially when they're about to claw your face off or something. But they actually are not as bad as people make them out to be. All they want to do is eat. You just leave them the fuck alone. Usually they'll leave you alone too, unless they're hungry. So hopefully it's not going to be that. But man, I am totally down with this Escape #1, because what they tell you on that trailer. And what they say in the little description is pretty much what happens in the first issue. But you're just getting to know the characters aboard that plane. And they really do a great job. And I mentioned Daniel Acuña's art is amazing in this. I love Daniel Acuña's art. I mean, it looks to me like it's better in this book than it's been in several other books. I mean, I've seen him do lots of other stuff. But for some reason, I love the color palette and the coloring of it. I think Acuña does his own coloring, I want to say. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it's just great. I can see the emotion in the lead character's face, and it just great stuff, man. Escape is going to be an ongoing book. We'll see how long it lasts. Hopefully, it lasts a long time. Hopefully got a lot of good ideas, not just this one World War II thing. Maybe it could be, I don't know, it could go on indefinitely if it's going to be ongoing. But usually ongoing means it's going to be sometimes not necessarily go as long as like the Fantastic Four is gone, but it could go like 50 issues, 37 issues or something like that. Because ongoing just means it's not going to be a small limited series. But anywho, beside the point, read this book, get it, pick it up.
Is that another book that Acuña did? Avengers Twilight.
Avengers Twilight, another amazing book with amazing art in it. Yeah, I like that as much as Avengers Twilight. It's great. It's great. They're both two great books. I think Chip wrote that one though, right? Zdarsky was right. Yeah. But Remender
was the artist on both, but
yeah. Acuña and Remender have worked together before on other things too, but I didn't realize how much I liked Acuña's art until this. Really nice. Well, that's it. That's your What's Good for this week. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.